Hey everybody out there, Chris here. Welcome back to another Dark Avenger comic book review.
Hello. Oh. Yep. So. Hi. What? What's so funny? Oh. I was like, what's so funny?
Just your head popping out of the ground like that.
Oh yeah. So.
Mike's back,
Hi.
everybody.
Hey guys.
So, Villains Month after this week's officially stupid. Villains Month's officially over with this week's worth of books. And if you want to know how Mike came back, it took a lot of recording, a lot of scripting, but you can check it out on Dark Avenger Inc. It's a two-part series called The End of Dark Rise. I want to say The Fall of Dark Rise, The End of Dark Rise. And we had a lot of fun doing that throughout the entire month of September, even though we're technically still in the end of December for one more day, and we are reviewing the books from the last week of December. Mike will still be doing his Point 4, because he did read through all the Villains Month books, but we finished the Dark Rise thing, and it was getting a little unusual, having him behind the camera again, especially after he's been, so we decided since we did it this weekend that Mike would sit in with me during this.
However, I do have scars that I'll remember from being on Earth 3, and also I like to be in the mustache I have over here.
You've been growing it for a month now.
Man, kind of like a Tony Stark image. You know. Just
so the announcement video I was telling you guys about will be up. It'll probably, this video is going to take all morning, so probably the announcement video will be coming up Monday night, or tonight I should say. We're probably going to film it right after this video, but I have to render this video and upload it, so it's going to take a little bit of time. So for the announcement video, stay tuned tonight to see it.
Yeah.
So, this is the end of Villains Month. It's been a crazy ride. It's been a fun ride. Still got to make a thank you video to everybody who enjoyed it on Dark Avenger Inc. and our thank yous, because I know Mike Spiderslayer and Brant already did theirs. We still have to do ours. We're waiting for the end of the reviews. So anyway, in this video, in this episode, we will be reviewing books that came out on September 25th, 2013, the final week of September going into October.
Yep.
Starting off with Vertigo, because Vertigo is its own company. I don't count it as DC, as Mike tried to point out before the video. The Wake, issue number 4. This issue, I don't know, for some reason, out of the whole series this far, this issue is kind of the most boring, in my opinion. The main characters are literally running from the Mer people throughout this entire issue. And in the end, you get this big surprise. They find out that, minor spoiler alert, that the Mer people can't stand loud noises, so they try to use the drill to get them away so they can get out from underwater, so they can escape the underwater facility. Instead, it causes something else to happen. I'm not going to spoil what that is until the next issue. I think I like doing that now, leaving major points out until the following issue. So that way people will
be able to buy the book.
Right, and still be surprised. Hollis is actually, I want to make sure I said the right name here. Is it Hollis? Meeks. I don't know why I call him Hollis. Meeks is still alive. That's another minor spoiler alert. So here's some artwork for your reference sakes. So I guess this is the weakest of the 4 issues thus far, because it was really a point A to point B story, which ended in what we all kind of figured what was going to happen. Something worse, because it's only issue 4 of 10. There's 6 more issues.
Yeah.
I doubt it's going to all be settled in 4 issues, so it was an okay issue. I'm enjoying The Wake. Hopefully next month we'll pick up a little bit more, but Scott Snyder and Sean Murphy's work is really good so far in The Wake. It's not bad, but this was definitely the weakest issue so far. So don't get me wrong. Book of the week and book of the month, because it's getting better and better as we move forward and we'll move closer and closer to this story arc's end. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, issue number 26, opens up with the best scene ever. You've got Leonardo in a meditative state, and he's talking with his mother, and he's like, I feel like there's something empty, Mother. Something's wrong. and he's like, why do I feel like there's something wrong? And the mother says, well, bad things happened, and unfortunately they took me away from you. And he's like, well, what do you mean? What are you talking about? Who took you away? And she's like, when you find what you believe you've lost, you'll also answer that question. And I love this picture of Leonardo right here.
In his meditative state.
In his meditative state.
The artwork looks amazing.
I wasn't too comfortable with the artwork at first, but you get used to it. You've got the turtles going out looking for Leonardo still. Mikey actually confronts, oh god, what's this guy's name? Woody. And in the end, they actually become friends again, which was good, because that was the only part of 2 story arcs ago where when Splinter was explaining how Mikey just craves to be loved and to love others, and Woody had said, we can't chill anymore, and you see Mikey so upset. That moment was spectacular, and he actually has a very good bit of news for Mikey and the Turtles. Also, we get to see somebody we haven't seen in a while, and he debuted in the Donatello micro-series issue. For those of you that don't remember, Harold and Donnie. So all the Turtles have their things that they're doing, and they're trying to figure out how to save Leonardo, as well as Splinter. Splinter's off doing that favor for Old Hob, so that Old Hob, when he's needed, will help the Turtles get Leonardo and stop the Foot. The Foot attack the why do I forget these people's names? Please tell me there's a beginning. Please tell me there's no, there's not. Shoot.
Well, it does look like the Foot's like fighting like ninjas, or
I forgot what they're called.
Well, it's a certain group. If they want to know what it is, they can read the book.
Right, exactly. So, of course, Leonardo still is under the influence of Kitsune and the Foot Clan, and the Savant.
Oh, okay. There you go.
And Kaori looks like she has a plan of her own going on, and there's also a lot of dialogue. I did not actually say any of the dialogue that was in this book, and I didn't say what Old Hob wanted, nor what happened after he got what he wanted. But Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, in whole, has been an amazing, amazing series since issue 1. I hope when we go to New York Comic Con, by the way, Mike and I received our New York Comic Con press passes, so we will be
awesome.
We will be at New York Comic Con. We will be at the comic related booth, or the table from time to time if you're in the Pavilion. The comic related tables are 13, 14, and 15. Z 13, 14, and 15. I'll be there on the weekend.
And hopefully I'll be there.
And hopefully Mike will be there, and Cindy will be there probably Thursday and Friday, and the weekend.
Right.
Unfortunately, due to work, I don't think I'm going to be able to do Thursday and
Because
Friday.
recently I got a job too, so I have to work out my schedule.
We'll talk about this in the announcement video about where we're going to be. But just for those of you that are going to watch this and aren't going to be able to watch the announcement, or aren't going to watch the announcement video, which you really should if you're not considering checking it out. Anyway, this has been an awesome run. Kevin Eastman is actually going to be in New York Comic Con, like I was saying, and I would love to take every single one of my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles books, all 26, and have him sign all 26, but I know that's just completely impossible. But maybe this issue I'll take, the latest issue, and have him sign it, because I love the Turtles, and this book has been spectacular. Book of the month, book of the week, once again. This book, other than that 3-part story arc, or 4-part story arc, where it was Andy Kuhn's artwork, flawless. Every month it was #1. It has been #1 pick for me. But unfortunately, I know a lot of people like the big 2, which is what we're going into now. And that was my #1 pick in general. Let's see what my #1 picks are for Marvel and DC. And we're starting with Marvel. Young Avengers issue 10. This is my ending. It has been 10 issues that I've been reading Young Avengers. And Mother has been the focal point of the entire series. Now, a story arc, legitimately 12 issues, 11 issues, 10 issues. This story does not look like it's ending. And I can't stand Mother. I almost can't stand her as much as I can't stand Emma Frost.
Wow, that's a lot.
Cade Kilgore is trapped in a mirror somewhere underwater, so he's gone. Thank you, God. Marvel listens sometimes. But this woman doesn't look like she's leaving anytime soon. I was enjoying Young Avengers for a time, but as the story continues moving closer and further and further along, this issue kind of just ended it for me. I'm done. This is my last issue of Young Avengers. I'm sorry, but it just no longer has any interest for me. I no longer have any interest in reading Young Avengers. If you're interested, you're welcome to check it out.
The way I've been hearing with Mother and everything,
but
Voice of them, of
after
course.
after this issue, I'm done. I'm sorry, but just doesn't interest me anymore. So Young Avengers is officially off of my list. And we are moving into the Spider books now. We have two. We have the Scarlet Spider, issue 22, which was actually really good.
Okay.
The hunt is back on, and all of Kane's friends have been taken hostage by Kraven, the hunter, and Kraven wants Kane to be what Pete and Ben weren't. The predator he used to be, because Ben and Peter were considered prey to Kraven. Kane is considered the predator, and basically, just like story arcs before, Kraven wants to die, and he's looking to push Kane however far he has to get what he wants. Artwork, I actually enjoyed the beginning artwork. I really did like the beginning artwork.
Is it him that says, "Oh, I don't know if I'm a hero or a monster"? Does he still do that, Scarlet Spider, or?
Yeah, not really. Not in this issue. This issue is straight up for he's going for Kraven.
Okay, so this is serious.
And Kraven tries to throw a bunch of tests at him, including his own daughter, and the ending definitely leaves you with it was kind of a predictable ending because you could see what Kraven wants from Kane and everything like that, but I enjoyed this issue. After last issue, I kind of called it wasn't going to be Ben Reilly that came back because Marvel said we're not bringing Ben Reilly back. So, this was an interesting issue. I'm looking forward to the next issue. I don't believe it's to be concluded in the next issue, though. I want to see. Yeah, it is!
Oh, yeah. Next
issue is to be concluded because then we go into the final story arc for the Scarlet Spider. Scarlet Spider is ending, unfortunately, in December. I guess it's due to the fact that, like what we said on the live show, people are getting tired of I'm a monster, I'm a hero, I'm a monster, I'm a hero, I'm a monster, I'm a hero. And Arsley's background, I'm so curious for. And unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get that unless when Marvel Now, the all-new, they're calling it the all-new Marvel Now, by the way. Now instead of it, you see where it says, oh wait, where is it?
Like the Marvel Now, like you say down here?
Yeah, you say Marvel Now, and then Now is under it. There's an exclamation point next to it, like this. It says all new.
Am I missing something?
No, Marvel's just adding more adjectives to their name. So, this was a good read. I enjoyed it. Scarlet Spider is definitely good.
I don't understand.
This is an average story. What?
I don't understand why. All new,
Ultimate Comics Spider-Man, issue 27. This was good. It's Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Woman versus Taskmaster. Bombshell, Cloak and Dagger make their appearance again finally, and everything's finally coming together. This is still Spider-Man No More, even though Miles Morales is already Spider-Man, has decided to be Spider-Man once again. The next issue is the last one, and it looks like Roxxon is going to be Spider-Man, Spider-Woman, and the rest are going to be paying a little visit to Roxxon. And this is an epic cover, by the way. And we learn a little bit more about the Ultimate Taskmaster. It turns out Taskmaster can, spoiler alert, absorb powers that are thrown at him, certain abilities that are thrown at him, and he's able to absorb Spider-Man and Spider-Woman's powers a bit, and he also, unfortunately, is able to absorb Bombshell's power, and that ain't good. But Ultimate Taskmaster is an interesting character. I don't like him, but I'm not going to say how they stop him, but they do end up stopping him, and that's when they head to Roxxon. It's going to be a final battle at Roxxon, I guess. It was an awesome book. This is the way a Spider-Man book should feel. Dan Slott should take a lesson from Brian Michael Bendis, who I believe really knows how to write Spider-Man very well, in my opinion. This was a great Spider-Man book. Enough said. Dialogue, awesome. Artwork's really good as well. Be can't go wrong with the Ultimate Comic Spider-Man. And now a book Mike's been waiting for a while.
Yes, and I'm glad to see a Punisher book, actually. This is The Trial of the Punisher, issue number 1. The thing I don't like is that's a 2-part series.
Well, Punisher has they tried an ongoing series and it worked for a while, and
I mean, I would like an ongoing, but you know.
There'll be another one.
Alright, this story was actually really interesting. I actually saw a side, I went there to see the Frank Castle, where he confesses a murder at the police precinct. Artwork is great. Of this guy named Shapiro. He has a talk with Jerry Dennis about this whole killing spree, and then there's a little history about his killing of what he did to Shapiro. And we get introduced to Lisa Santos, who is his public defender, so to say. And she's not scared of him one bit. And actually, I liked how when Frank Castle said that this was the first time he saw inside of a courtroom because they were doing a trial, which was really something else. Here's more artwork of the Punisher.
Artwork feels a bit dark.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is a Punisher comic book, so, you know. But lots of stuff here, and even the next part of this last page of his to-do list of how he's going to participate in his defense. I'm looking forward to that. And that's to be concluded in the next issue. Really interesting. I would definitely recommend this book for those of you Punisher fans like me who've been waiting for a Punisher comic book.
Does it continue the actual story from the Punisher series? Like, because he was wanted for trial anyway.
Yeah, but this is Shapiro. You know.
I'm saying, but remember how Punisher ended where the Avengers were going after him, and then they had Punisher Warzone, and in the end Punisher got away?
Yeah, well actually Punisher Warzone, he was put in prison.
But he got out.
Right. So maybe that relates to after that, or it could be a new story arc. It all depends, but this book's very interesting. I can't wait to see part 2 of The Punisher and how it's all going to connect together. I just wish it would be an ongoing series. Maybe an all-new Marvel now, maybe.
I'm sure you do. Nova issue number 8, Connecting to Infinity. Once again, you don't have to read Infinity to be attached to this book. Why? Thanos is coming to Earth. We all know that in Infinity. But Thanos finds out that there is a Nova on Earth. And Thanos wants to make quick work of Nova. So he sends Pax Gamora, once again. This woman is getting a huge spotlight in this book. But I want to make sure I said her name right.
Which one?
I forgot who, but we get Speedball, who makes an appearance again. Is Nova. Nova just cleans something up, and then he ends up taking his helmet off because he freaks out, and then he crashes down Proxima. I'm sorry. Proxima Maxima, sorry. I never will get this woman's name right for the life of me. It's annoying, but what can you do? So Thanos sends her to send one of her people to destroy Nova. And the person she sends is this woman here. Other than that, this is more of a setup issue. It really did feel like a setup issue for things to come. And, yeah.
Wow.
It just literally sets up for the next issue. And that's the end. It ends with the woman who's going to be going after Nova being somewhere on Earth. Where? You gotta read this book to find out. So Thanos wants to destroy Nova. That's basically the whole point of the story. And he sends somebody to send somebody they have to do it. Because he doesn't want to waste his time because he's too busy doing the Infinity stuff. So it was an okay issue. I'm looking forward to the next issue where I believe the story is actually going to take off. This is more of a setup. And really, once again, Sam is really not doing too much at all. While in Guardians of the Galaxy issue 6, Thanos, somewhere else, is talking to Peter Quill about what happened, that he witnessed time and space tearing apart, and and he didn't know why. He said maybe it was an Avenger thing, maybe it was an X-Men thing, maybe there was a new Inhuman, but I witnessed it, and it proved that Earth is very dangerous and needs to either be destroyed or controlled. And he escapes, Star-Lord escapes, and then the rest of the book is all about Gamora, the Guardians of the Galaxy versus Gamora. And you have the Guardian, the Watcher, not the Guardian, the Watcher, who's watching, and he actually says something to the Guardians. He actually gives them her name, and that's it. Angela. Her name is Angela. The rest I can't say. And they're like, where'd she come from? Why does she look familiar? I'm just the Watcher. I'm not allowed to interfere. So, I guess we'll find out more about Angela in the next issue, but I will say this, for those people who don't know about Angela from the Spawn series, now I read Spawn. Angela was a huge part, she played a huge part in the Spawn series from issue 1 to issue 100. Little backstory is, Angela went with Spawn to Hell to destroy Malebolgia. And in the end, or in her end, she died, helping Spawn. Now, there were maybe something further happened, but I stopped collecting after issue 100 because the issue started to get very hard to find. I'm still missing some of the 90s, actually, in my collection. I do have issue 100, though. But she dies. If she came back, I have no clue. But obviously, even if she did, she now is part of the Marvel Universe due to Todd McFarlane and people that created Spawn had their... not the differences, but he gave the rights to certain characters to the other writer. I forgot his name, but anyway, he brought Angela to the Marvel Universe, and that she was one of the ramifications of the Age of Ultron.
Which is actually really interesting that they brought her to the Marvel Universe.
I'm sure you could Wikipedia Angela and get her entire background story up until her end in Spawn, and then, of course, it picks up here again. So that's a quickie about Angela. This is a really good issue. I definitely recommend it. But my book of the week from Marvel, finally, Battle of the Atom, Chapter 5, Wolverine and the X-Men, issue number 36. No more running. Jean, Emma Frost, and the Cuckoos versus Scorn or Jean Grey from the past and the future. This book, if you hate time travel, I'm warning you, this mini-series, or this series, whatever you want to call this, is heavy in time travel. Heavy. I'm talking, oh my god, another book, more time travel, because that's exactly what happens here. Magic shows up at Wolverine. I'm going to give you the example. Spoiler alert. Magic shows up at the Wolverine school, and Beast from the past is questioning if these X-Men who are from the future are telling the truth. And Magic says, we have to go to the future and find out if they're telling the truth. And guess what? The past Beast and the past Iceman are now in the distant future. So now you got X-Men from the very distant past in the very distant future. You have the 2 X-Men from the past still in the present. 3 X-Men from the past in the present. You have the future X-Men that came over already from the future in the present. And the past, nobody's touching the past yet. Thank you, God. That would be a three-way head.
That actually confused me.
That's a mind screw right there.
That is.
But in the end, Jean finds out why future Jean says they're dangerous and they need to go home. However, in the future, and this is not a spoiler alert because this splash page has been everywhere so far, in the future, it turns out the future isn't as bad as the X-Men in the present have been saying, and the present X-Men, along with, Magic, Beast, and Iceman from the past, meet up with the X-Men from the Jean Grey School in the future. And things don't look very bad there. As a matter of fact, things look pretty good in the future. To be continued. And there is a bunch of stuff. There is a fight that breaks out. It's weird, but Cyclops and Wolverine have a lot of really, really good dialogue in here, along with young Cyclops and old Cyclops as well. I think that the dialogue in this book really was sharp, and it really made for a really good 5th chapter to the Battle of the Atom. The only thing that hurts this book at all is the fact that there is time travel. And that hurts this book. Oh, it hurts it bad. Not bad enough that I would take anything away from it. This was a really good story. But once again, I know everybody in the Marvel that's reading Marvel books right now are very tired of time travel. After Age of Ultron, you got 2099 Spider-Man hopping around in the Spider Universe. You got Angela in the Guardians of the Galaxy. What other ramifications? We have Galactus in the Ultimate Universe right now. We are knee deep in so much stuff that's going on in the Marvel Universe due to Age of Ultron, which once again was time travel that might not have been such a comfortable idea right now to go into this in X-Men 2. However, I will say this though, I really do hate Beast now. The more this series goes on, like the more this mini-series Battle of the Atom goes on, the more I'm learning that Beast made the dumbest mistake in the world, and it's apparent that in the future he's still making the same dumb mistake, going back in time to try to fix things again.
Now that's weird, because Beast I thought would be like one of the smartest characters, because Cyclops...
He is, but he's trying to do something. He thinks he's smart enough to fix something that he can't. He's playing God. He actually says it in this issue, and that's where I finally say, hey, Beast is finally growing another brain. He's saying, I'm playing God, and I'm not doing, and that's bad. So, but everything's up in the air. So what's going to happen if the past X-Men go back to the past? If it's not, is it going to be a bad thing that they go back to the past, or is it going to be a good thing? Is it just Jean's selfish wants from the future that she wants to go back to the past and try to fix things or set things right?
Unless they're going to try to fix things and everybody goes back to who goes to the past, who stays the present, who goes to the future. Just put them back there instead of doing all.
I just find it a headache that magic and time travel.
Because they're juggling time travel.
I find it annoying that magic can time travel a bit, because that means magic is kind of like the Flash. She can just run or use her power and just disappear into the past. I wanted to show that page where you have Cyclops and Cyclops fighting side by side. That was creepy, where Cyclops is like, you want to do this? He says, oh God, yes, please, let's do this. And you have the two Cyclopses actually side by side using their beams. I thought that was cool. Even though I hate the present Cyclops. But then again, who knows, maybe after this story arc, no, nothing's going to change, never mind. But there's a lot that goes on in this issue. It was really good, and it's a perfect midway point for Battle of the Atom. I'm looking forward to Chapter 6 next week, and 7 the following week, all the way through until the final part to this series. Highly recommend you guys check out the Battle of the Atom story arc. And with that, we're going to take our commercial break. That's it for Marvel. After we come back from our commercial break, we will be going headlong into DC. We have a lot of Villains Month books and one digital first book. So stay tuned. We'll be right back after these messages. And welcome back to this week's Dark Avenger comic book review. We are officially now in DC Comics. 12 issues left to Villains Month. 12 one-shots.
And I've read all of them.
Plus Adventures of Superman #5. This book was wow. Super wow. Whoa. This baby comes to Earth. This baby alien comes to Earth. She's the princess of a planet we don't know about. And she's like, I believe it's her father, takes her to Earth and he dies. And it's up to Superman to protect her from this army that's coming after her to destroy her, to kill her. So basically they can take over the planet. And wow, Superman just protects this. It's amazing. The artwork is wow. I mean, this feels like a classic Superman tale. And you got Superman flying with the... It's like, this is a classic fun story. Now, why couldn't DC do this with Superman instead of the New 52 Superman? This is the Superman that should be depicted in the New 52. Saying it right here and now. This is the Superman that should be in the New 52. I don't care that he's not, I don't even care that he's not married to Lois Lane in the Digital First book. I don't care. This personality, even the costume, give him the New 52 costume. His persona in this book is perfect. Awesome. I hope this book stays around for a very, 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 very long time. So Superman protects this baby at all costs. And in the end, he saves the day, obviously. I'm saying this because this book, this paper book, this story ended in the end of August. This is not the September Digital First story. The September Digital First story is just about ending this week. So that story we won't find out until the end of October. So everybody should have already read this digitally first. So it was just awesome. The first story was great. And then the second story is about this guy who's willing to risk his own life to attract Superman's attention. He's driving on a train track, and Superman's very busy fighting Lex Luthor. And does he make it in the end? I'm not going to say anything, but remember, Superman can only be in so many places at once. What happens when Superman's busy fighting Lex Luthor? What happens when he's not busy? What happens when Superman's fighting Lex Luthor and he's unable to answer anybody else's call for help? That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to really say too much about the second story because that was wow. I mean, it's true. I'm not upset at the way it ended, but at the same time, it's like, wow, a writer really had the guts to write that, and it was good. It was really, this book was fantastic. Oh, looking over the books from the Villains Month, this was my book of the week from DC. Even though it can't be because it's Digital First book, it's Digital First parts. This book was spectacular. If you are not reading The Adventures of Superman and you are a fan of Superman, you are missing out on some of the best stories from Superman right now. Mm-hmm. The first issue was a little bit got off to a rough start, but after the first issue, issue 2 through 5, I've yet to be disappointed since issue 2 through 5.
Yeah.
I've yet to be disappointed. Now we are officially in the Villains Month books.
And I've read them all 12 of them, but I'll be doing that one.
You are? You seriously want to do it? You want to do it? Go ahead. The worst book. We actually sat down and discussed which books go where. And this book was the hugest disappointment. Go ahead, you just show what it is.
Joker's Door #1 from Batman Dark Knight, issue number 23.4. Okay.
This issue, the 3D cover, went for $130
not worth it.
On eBay. If you did not get the 3D cover, you did not miss out. I wouldn't be surprised. I, honest to God, would not be surprised if the value of this comic after this week's worth of reading goes down. I feel bad for anybody who paid $130 for this book. I really do.
But, yeah. So basically, this Joker, or this woman talks about the Nethers, so to say, and she goes into a big thing about that where she goes in the cave. She's with this cat. And, should I show this artwork or no?
Yeah, you can. That page is good.
Yeah.
She finds Joker's face.
Yeah.
So it takes place after Death in the Family.
Right. And, there's just a whole big origin story. I mean, if you want to read that for yourselves, yeah. But the thing that really creeped me out the most was that Joker's face, from what we read when he peeled his face off, she finds it in the water and uses it.
She's not even really Joker's daughter.
No.
That's the most disappointing part. The title is misleading. This is not the Joker's daughter. And she's just completely nuts.
The reason why they probably said Joker's daughter was because people thought that she was the Joker, and there's just a whole thing where she wants to do a women's tribe with all that, and she meets this guy, Sharon.
I love how somebody said he has pennies for a coat.
Yeah. And he wants to help her, and she doesn't because of...
and then you get most of her origin.
Yeah, because she had a happy childhood, but then she turned out to be a little bit loony, and with the face, what happened on the side, with beautiful being the new ugly, so to say. But she just goes crazy. She puts like that smile on everyone's face.
Except the girls.
Yeah, except the girls, and she just wants to now show the world what the new ugly can do.
And the best part was to be continued in what book? Catwoman.
Yeah, Catwoman number 24. Yeah, Catwoman 24, yeah. I did give it a little bit of a fair rating with my in-depth comic review, only because the origin story was a bit interesting. But would I say pick this up? Really up to you guys, because it's...
This, I feel differently from you. This is the skip of the week.
Okay.
This is the book you don't need. You don't need it unless you're reading Catwoman. You don't need this book.
And let me point out different opinions. I'm pointing it out. Just saying. Just saying. We're not going to go through that again. Just saying. Okay.
You know, since we're reviewing this now, we don't have to do it for the... you don't have to get the point 2 for this week since we're doing it all now. Just hit me. So, next one is Firstborn number 1, which is Wonder Woman 23.2. Another book I feel you don't need.
It to me looked like a mix between, like, compare and contrast of Tarzan and the Greek mythology.
Yeah,
it was like
basically Firstborn. Thor finds out that Firstborn, if he grows up, he's going to take the throne of oh god, the throne of where? Olympia. Olympus.
Yeah,
The throne of Olympus.
I think it was Olympus when I read that.
Yeah, Olympus. And Zeus didn't like that, so he ordered a witch to kill him. She didn't do that. Instead, she dropped him in the Amazon. Grew up, like Mike said, like Tarzan, and vowed to get his revenge on his father. He attempts to get his revenge and fails miserably. And I love how Zeus is basically naked in the DC universe. Zeus is a naked god. And basically Zeus promises Firstborn his place when Zeus is gone. If Zeus ever dies, Firstborn is going to maybe, depending on his brothers and sisters, get the throne of Olympus. I don't like that they added in the Greek gods to Wonder Woman. I think it...
Well, then again, I mean, they do have to do that a little bit because she's part of the Amazons, and it kind of deals with Greek mythology, but not too heavy.
Right, and the artwork is... Wow. The artwork is definitely all over the place and back again. But once again, this is the artwork from the actual book.
Yeah, I didn't like
I dropped Wonder Woman. I dropped Wonder Woman, and once again, these two books I would not have even wasted my time buying if I wasn't buying every single book for Villains Month. So these are two books that I would definitely recommend you skip unless you're reading Catwoman or Wonder Woman. Next up, a surprising, not disappointment, but I guess there's always one 3D cover that just doesn't fit up to my hopes or expectations. Batman 23.4, Bane number 1. Again, this is more of a lead up into Arkham Wars more than anything else. Now, we've seen Scarecrow and we've seen the Arkham Asylum side preparing for the Arkham Wars. Bane is Blackgate.
Right.
Bane is the other side of the coin. He's preparing the Blackgate side. And just like every single other Batman villain, he proclaims at the end of his issue, Gotham will be mine. So all of these villains from Batman's gallery,
like the end's always Gotham's mine.
Yeah, but now they're all going to go to war with each other over who rules over Gotham. It's going to be very interesting to see how Batman deals with that when he comes back, because we all know he's going to come back. It's going to be very interesting. Bane's story, though, is very bloody, very what's the word I'm looking for? It's bloody, it's got gore, you've got backbreaking.
It's like graphic.
It's very graphic. It's definitely for teen readers, not for kids. I don't know. Bane's personality, once again, it's kind of like the Penguin, where he leads his own people, and if he doesn't like what you do, he'll break you. Quite literally, he will break you.
Yeah, and he talks about how the venom keeps him going.
Yeah, there's an origin. He does put a piece of origin in there, and also then it attaches also to Forever Evil 1, where
the world is ours.
Yeah, the world is ours happens. Blackgate, they break free, and then you got Bane saying Gotham will be mine. I like the artwork towards the end of the book. It had a very 90s feel to it, like this artwork here.
Yeah, kind of a little bit. But it was pretty okay.
And also, Bane puts a target on Scarecrow. He wants his men to kill Scarecrow as a sign that they're number one, like they're the superiors, and the Arkham Asylum people are just nuts.
Oh yeah.
It was okay. Not the best book of the week, that's for sure. I didn't really enjoy it that much. What about you?
I thought it was pretty okay. I mean, the origin story was good, and it's something new, like, to learn about Bane, because even though we saw him in the Batman movie, he kind of reminded me of the movie, like when he was doing that whole, like, talking to the people. Like, no, not the I break you, because we all know that's what he does, but when he, like, talks to people, you know, like, making a whole riot of everything, it kind of reminded me of the movie, but I thought it was pretty okay. Not the best, I'm just saying pretty okay, just in that sense.
And then we disagree with this book, I know. Man-Bat, Issue 1, Batman Detective Comics 23.4. This sets up for the next story arc in Batman Detective Comics. But this takes place during Forever Evil, because Batman's missing, and Gotham's going to hell. This man whose wife actually is using a serum to become She-Bat, he takes the serum and becomes Man-Bat to try to stop her. And he stops her, but she said, you know, because you mixed our formulas, there's going to be a cost to it. And he's like, yeah, there's no cost to it. So now that Batman's missing, he uses the serum every single night to become Man-Bat to basically protect Gotham. And it starts at day 1, and as you go through the book, the journal moves forward in days, you know, further and further along. And the further it goes, the more obsessed he gets with the formula and making it better and find it to make more. And then at some point he actually kills somebody, and he's like, but I'm a hero, and Commissioner Gordon's like, no, you just killed that guy, I don't think so, and they consider him a villain. And then by day 30 he's completely lost it, and he was stopping his wife because his wife was trying to kill, basically she killed little kids as She-Bat, and he wanted to prove that as Man-Bat he wouldn't do the same, and by the end of the issue that's not the case. It says to be continued in Detective Comics, not in October. In October, Detective Comics, the Clayface story arc is ending. It's going to be continuing in November's Detective Comics, issue number 25, not 24. But it is coming up soon, and I thought it was a good issue. I enjoyed reading it. Was it super spectacular? No. But was it good? I think it was pretty good.
I would agree also. I mean, you know, it doesn't show like him killing as much.
So you wanted me to put it underneath Bane.
Well, I'm just saying, like, the story was good. I mean, it shows that he wants to be a hero, but then there's just so many things that are happening, and then with the whole trying to find the formula to, you know, make everything better.
He loses it.
Yeah, he just loses it. He just goes crazy. She goes like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, literally. But all in all, interesting read if you're reading Detective Comics.
Yeah, I would say that. Green Lantern, issue number 23.4, Sinestro, issue 1. This is the best 3D cover out of the Green Lantern 4 books. If you're looking for something new here, you don't get it. This is basically a retelling of Sinestro's origins, but not from his point of view, from the point of view of the holder of I forgot her name, but does it say her name?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lisa Dark, who used to be the keeper of the Book of Parallax, and as you're going through his origin story, you're actually seeing it as the Book of Parallax pages. But the Book of Parallax was destroyed, and Lisa Dark says the world needs to know I have all of Sinestro's story in my memory, so I'm carving it. She basically is carving the book in her skin. Her body is now the Book of Parallax.
And this was before he became the Yellow Lantern.
Yeah, all the way through to when he became the Yellow Lantern, to when he became Parallax, when he joined with Parallax to destroy the Guardians, and then he went missing. But she says his people are still, there are still some Karugarians out there, and they need him. So he must return at some point. And that's where it leaves off. It leaves off with a tease for a possible future story arc, a possible teaser for a future story arc for Green Lantern, but that's all it leaves, is a possible teaser for Sinestro. There's no promise that Sinestro is coming back anytime soon in the Green Lantern world, because if you guys remember the last issue Jeff Johns did, Sinestro left and disappeared, and that's it. Is Sinestro's story done? Of course it's not. Come on.
No.
This is Sinestro. He's going to come back at some point.
But yeah.
We just don't know when or where. Could be a year, 2 years, who knows.
It was good, though, to see a little bit more of the insight of Sinestro, because there was some things that wasn't told in some stories from the past.
It adds to his past.
Right, it adds to the past. And really, I mean, the 3D cover is phenomenally amazing.
Oh, yeah, this is the best one.
Like, it just looks like it's, like, coming right at you and all that. But Sinestro, to see him go from a Green Lantern to Yellow Lantern, and why, is just the interesting points that they made in that comic book.
And how he deteriorated from when he
married,
married Irene Sur all the way through
I wouldn't
until...
think Sinestro will fall in love with somebody.
Yeah, he married Abin Sur's sister, who then died.
Ever since I read about them, I'm like, oh, that's something.
Next are the 2 Superman books. Superman issue 23.4, Parasite. This was interesting. However, Parasite did not exist until 3 weeks ago. And when I say 3 weeks ago, I mean 3 weeks prior to Forever Evil. This happened, they actually tell you right when it actually began. It began back between Action Comics 20 and 22, through those issues, where Metropolis was being attacked. And I forgot what his name was exactly. Did they ever give his name? Yeah. It was mentioned in the actual when they called him. Here, Joshua Allen. Yeah, Joshua Allen is basically the Parasite, for those of you that don't know. So it starts off with his origin. He's a lousy delivery boy. He gets in the way of what happened during Action Comics issue 2022.
He has a temper thing where he just...
Yeah, and every 2 seconds he feels like people are calling him a loser, a screw-up, a parasite, a dork, a jackass. It just goes through the whole...
like he hears his voice.
Whole thing. So he loses his job due to what happened to him. He broke his leg. He loses his girlfriend because he has no more money. And then Star Labs call him and say, listen, you were attacked by an alien blob. We need to run tests to make sure you're okay. And the first test they run turns him into Parasite. Because he did something to the blob and that affected his genetic makeout or whatever. They don't explain it. They just say, oh, you electrocuted that blob, so now you're the Parasite.
Well, yeah. I was just seeing, like, how he was, like, not from the cover, like, he was just this. But then when it explained that when he's hungry and when he needs, like, people and rats and stuff to make him bigger, then that sort of gave me an understanding of why he was in that form to get to this form on this page.
And then he decides to commit suicide, and Superman saves him. However, Superman touches him, and we all know what happens when you touch Parasite. He absorbs Superman's powers as well as his strengths, all of his stuff, and he loves it. However, he ODs on the heat vision, shrinks back down, tries to get another bite, and that doesn't happen. And then,
it was
of course,
Superman saying time to cool down.
And then, of course, the events of Forever Evil #1 happen, and he gets free, and he is now back in Metropolis. Will Parasite play a role in Forever Evil? I don't know. He was in Forever Evil 1 when they showed Superman's cape. But will he play a further role in it? I guess we'll have to wait and find out. But it was an okay origin story. Basically the same thing that we've seen a million times with Parasite, just a bit of a different...
I never read about Parasite.
Yeah, so you got something new.
Yeah, this
so
was
it's a bit different.
Yeah, this was like a new read of Parasite to like, you know, explain to me about how he absorbs powers, and then how he gets bigger and stronger. It was something. They made like good key points to make it understandable of how he became Parasite and everything.
And then next to Parasite during Forever Evil #1 was Metallo, Action Comics 23.4. Both these guys were actually side by side during Forever Evil #1, like I said. And Metallo, it's an origin story. Basically, Metallo has been or Corbin has been in a coma ever since the first story arc in Action Comics, which is about 3 years ago. Sam Lane decides, hey, I have a way to bring him back. Let's take out his nuclear core, which we use as his heart, and replace it.
Something else.
Metal Zero.
Metal Zero, yeah.
That was the code name for him. Then people just started calling him Metallo. So anyway, they replace his nuclear core with a kryptonite core instead, and that of course jolts him back to life, and he's alive again. However, due to his fatigue from being on the field, they feel he's not really ready to go back into the field, and Sam Lane ignores that. He goes out into the field, and guess what? He wasn't ready, and Sam Lane is ordered to destroy Metallo, and he tries, doesn't work. Metallo goes after Sam Lane and finds a new Metal Zero. Long fight short, things don't look too good for either one of them. However, thanks to, this is a spoiler alert, if you don't want to know, don't read this, but don't watch this part, skip over till I get to the next comic, but it's really not much of a spoiler because we all know Metallo was at the meeting. He was pulled away by the Secret Society, by Scarecrow, to attend the meeting with the crime syndicate. The end. It even says the end, so I don't even think we're going to be seeing a follow-up with Metallo until maybe one of the Superman story arcs. Maybe he'll show up a bit in Forever Evil. Maybe his and Parasite's only cameos were going to be in Forever Evil #1. We'll just have to wait and see as Forever Evil unfolds.
Yeah, even the fight that Metallo did against the other Metal Zero, that was really intense.
That was good.
Because I could see the whole epicness in that.
Yeah,
whole
while
thing.
we're talking about it, hold it up, please. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but I was just gonna say it's another interesting read from a Superman comic book.
We're sorry about that. Apparently, Cindy's camera can only hold so long before the battery dies.
Yeah.
So we're now on my camera, which I'm sure you guys are more used to. And Mike, you were talking about Metallo being a good Superman book, and that's the camera cut.
Like an interesting comic book. I liked the artwork. And like I said before about...
You're talking about the metal...
Yeah, when he fought against the other Metal Zero, that I found that to be really epic. Like so much of the confrontation between one another, where Metallo just wants to destroy everything, and then...
He wants revenge for Sam Lane and against Superman for what he initially did.
That part alone was what really grasped me the most, that scene right there. Even the ones before the fight was... absolutely good, but you guys should pick this up, definitely.
The rest of these books were top, and we were sitting there for a good 10 minutes trying to figure out what order to place them in. And to be honest, guys, this week there is no #1 pick for me when it comes to the Villains Month books. I think there are several books that were really good this week. As a matter of fact, a lot of people actually said there weren't that many good books this week at all. On Kat's top 5 worst, as a matter of fact, she had 2 from this week. Maybe it was just an average week where you couldn't pick your very favorite. I don't know, but for us, it was very hard to have a #1 pick. So there is no #1 pick for Marvel for the DC books from this week. However, these are our top books. Killer Croc #1, Batman and Robin 23.4. You get the origin story of Killer Croc. We find out that Killer Croc was, spoiler alert, at one time black. Which nobody, I don't know if they actually made mention of this before. They might have. I didn't know. So it was a really interesting little tidbit to Killer Croc's mythos, as well as we find out he's not really Killer Croc. They call him King Croc by the end of this because he ended up saving a bunch of homeless people and bringing them to his underworld, and basically he's their ruler. And there's some flashbacks to when he became Killer Croc, when he was a wrestler. When he was a wrestler. Then when Batman finally, his confrontation with Batman happened. This was just a really, really fun read. I want to find that one page. Here it is.
Yeah, this one's funny. I like his grim. That's what made me laugh, kind of.
And we're like, why is he trying to kill these police officers? And we find out towards the end of the book where it turns out these are crooked cops, as a matter of fact, and they ended up killing the one person that ever showed Killer Croc any type of positive that actually cared about him. And that's when there's the funeral, and you have a bunch of people who, like I said, they believe Killer Croc to be their king. And that's basically the end. What do you want to add to this?
Interesting origin of how he became Killer Croc, and how I felt bad for him when he was a kid, how he had to grow up with all these things that were on
all these
him.
Kids making fun of him. And
I really felt for that character, but really good, actually. Killer Croc was really amazing to see his point of view of how he became to be, and then to be king, because there was someone that said that in the future you will be king and ruler.
Yeah.
And that's what actually...
That's the guy that ended up dying. He said one day you might actually become king, for all we know.
Exactly, and that alone was just really good. Yeah. I would definitely recommend that.
This was the shock of the week, in my opinion. I was expecting to have Killer Croc as an okay book. This was actually a part of my top. This was another book that actually I'm not surprised that it's up at the top. Aquaman 23.2 with a sick, amazing cover. Ocean Master #1. And there's a little tip of the hat to the cameo scene with Black Manta. Ocean Master gets freed from Arkham. Was Arkham, right? Or was it Bell? I don't remember if it was Belle Reve now. I think, no, it was Belle Reve, I believe.
Yeah, because Arkham is with...
yeah, why did I say Arkham? It's Belle Reve. He gets freed from Belle Reve. Of course, takes place during Forever Evil #1. He gets freed, and throughout the whole book, you see him to be this cold, disgusting character. He just wants to get off the human world and go back to Atlantis, to where he can rule. And he saves this woman who's about to get, I don't want to say, she's about to get raped by these inmates that were released. He saves her, and then she asks him to help because she has an 8-year-old boy, and she's like, he's only 8. And he actually says to her that he should know how to defend himself. When I was 8, I was ready. And you see the woman, she sees her son and the babysitter, they're being attacked by inmates.
And he doesn't do anything.
And he doesn't do anything. And she's like, please, don't let them hurt him or her, or what kind of a man are you? And he's like, I'm not a man, I'm an Atlantean. And then she goes to help her son, and her, the babysitter are in a bunch of trouble. And he's walking away, and he's got that look in his eyes. He hears her screaming for help and telling her son to run. And he hesitates, runs away. And I'm telling you guys the ending because this was actually really good. He pops back out of the water and says, 8 is too young. And he goes back to help the woman. One thing I really like about some of these Villain Month books, the villains, with the Justice League gone, the villains are starting to take up the roles of the heroes in a way. I'm thinking, okay, the book's gonna just end with, like, when I got to this page where it was like a dead ocean, I was expecting to turn the page and it just shows a wide open sea, or facing in from the sea, where it's all hell and mayhem, and then you just turn the page and here's Ocean Master breaking out of the ocean saying 8's too young after all, and he's going back to save the woman.
Yeah, that was one of the best parts of the book. That
was amazing. A lot of people didn't like that, I think. I believe a lot of people thought it was dumb, the ending, but I liked it.
I think the death of the superheroes is washing off on the villains, saying, you should do something instead of, because being a villain, is never the answer.
Yeah, because throughout the whole book, all he wanted to do was find the ocean and leave the human world and go back to Atlantis. That's all he wanted to do. And the end of the issue, he meets up with this woman, saves her. Not really saves her. He just the men attack him, and he answers their attack by killing them. But beside the point, she even says, "Why did you save me just to leave our world in hell?" He's like, you know what? I don't give a crap about your world. This is your problem. And he just decides, wait a minute. He hears the woman, he hesitates, he leaves, and he's like, wait, I can't do it. 8's too young. Let me go back and help her. That was really good. I liked it. That's why it's part of my top. I know a lot of people didn't like that. A lot of people said this was an average read. The ending is what made this book, in my opinion.
Epicness. Altogether. Plain and simple is what I could say about this book.
I liked it. And you see all these supervillains. Black Manta, Ocean Master now, the Rogues. There are some villains that are taking advantage of the moment and using it to their advantage, most of the Batman villains. And then you get books like this where it's like, shit. Bad stuff's going down. And the Justice League isn't there.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. Ra's al Ghul is just staying behind the scenes completely, though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Another really good book. Justice League of America 7.4, Black Adam #1 with an epic cover. These covers this week were awesome, by the way. The 3D covers, if you got your hands on them. Black Adam, we all know from the Justice League. See, I don't know why they put these supervillains in the wrong book. This should be Justice League.
Wasn't he kind of the Justice League of America when the Trinity War happened?
No.
No, with the whole...
It was during the... during the Trinity... during the Trinity War, Shazam spread Black Adam's ashes around Kahndaq, however you pronounce it. And basically Kahndaq is a place of war, and 10,000 years ago, Black Adam was the sole protector of Kahndaq, and then he disappeared. And there's a terrorist group called the Children of Adam, or was it the Children of Adam?
Ouch. I think it was the
The Sons of Adam. The Sons of Adam. And this guy is, they hire him to help, read the book and bring Black Adam, or try to attempt to bring Black Adam back. And his sister is an activist, but she does videos. She doesn't go for terrorism. She just reports and films what's...
Like a newscast.
Yeah, like a newscaster. And they're at that point where the Sons of Adam are trying to bring Black Adam back. The government finds out and attacks them. And actually, it's the woman who actually shows up and was against all this that says Shazam. And guess what? The ashes bring back Black Adam. Like, Black Adam just comes out of nowhere. Because of the book that was read, the magical book that was read, Black Adam's back. And he destroys he takes down the armies. They're like, we're here to follow you. What do you have us do, Master? Do you want us to just do any... Basically, they call him Master, and he interrupts him and says, I am not your master. You bow to no one.
Mm-hmm.
So already you're getting that feel that Black Adam is not exactly a supervillain.
Maybe an anti-hero.
That's what I'm feeling, yeah. Black Adam is starting to set up to be an anti-hero. He's like, you bow to no one, Kahndaq will be free. And he shows up, makes quick work of the ruler, and he says, Kahndaq no longer has a ruler, she has a protector. And just like an Ocean Master... this takes place right as the crime syndicate takes over the world. There's a thing on an iPod that says the world is ours, and Black Adam's #1 response, and this is a supervillain book, the world belongs to no one. To be continued. Follow Black Adam in Justice League 24.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my question. If Black Adam is going to be in Justice League, it doesn't say Justice League of America, it says Justice League 24. Why didn't they change places between Black Adam and the Secret Society and put the Secret Society in the Justice League of America and Black Adam in Justice League if Black Adam's story is continued in a different book?
Trinity War. I think it has something to do with the Trinity War, in my opinion.
Doesn't matter. This was awesome. I loved it. The ending is good. You're already seeing the team of supervillains that are going to be going up against the Crime Syndicate. Yeah, Lex Luthor, Black Adam, Black Manta, Ocean Master is somewhere out there fighting, the prisoners that escaped Belle Reve.
The rogues.
The rogues who are going to protect Central City. I feel bad for Gotham. Gotham's the only place where it's going to be a war zone between Arkham inmates and Blackgate inmates.
Well, those Arkham people, they could play the, I'm going to take over, I'm going to take over a hot potato and all that other stuff. But these guys going after the crime syndicate is the real important thing than the Arkham Wars.
It'd be funny if the new Justice League, just for the Forever Evil series, the new Justice League would be Black Adam, Lex Luthor, like every character has, like, even Ocean Master. Ocean Master stands in for Aquaman, Black Mantle standing for Firestorm or something. You know what I'm saying? That would be interesting. So this was a good read. I loved it. However, a little bit ahead of that is, like I just said, Justice League 23.4, Secret Society, issue number 1. This is the this goes back into Earth 3 when it turns out, spoiler alert, Dick Grayson was not Nightwing on Earth 3. Dick Grayson was Talon. You read this?
I probably skipped that part.
No, you didn't. Remember the part where Night Owl was going after Joker, who stole Talon?
Oh, wait, you mean the part at the end?
No, in the beginning, right here, where Alfred's telling Owlman, you could have told Dick another story. You could have lied to him. And he found Talon. He opened one of the boxes.
I probably missed it.
And he said right here, Talon.
I think I probably missed that part. Oh, wow. Okay.
And Joker's about to kill Night Owl, and Alfred saves him. You still got that moment where Night Owl is still with Superwoman, even though she's with Ultraman. Alfred gets scarred by Joker. It was basically a huge fight. Imagine a dark version of Batman. That's exactly what happened.
It was also more pinpointed to Owlman, I would say. With the whole thing.
Yeah, basically the Secret Society was all about Owlman and the dark version of Alfred. And how Alfred and Atomica were the only two that made it out of Earth 3. And then that's where it's the Justice League formation where they were fighting Darkseid, and how Alfred, or the Dark Alfred, formed. Yeah, he formed the Secret Society of Supervillains, and prepared to find a way to bring Owlman and the Crime Syndicate to the DC Earth 1. And then he's saying he knows that Owlman is going to try to recruit Dick Grayson into their ranks as a part of the Crime Syndicate. But Alfred, Dark Alfred, wants to try to find a way to convince Thomas to kill Nightwing instead. So Thomas wants to bring, or Night Owl, or Owlman. Why do I keep calling him Night Owl? I gotta stop that. Owlman wants to recruit Nightwing, but Alfred, the Dark Alfred, the Outsider, wants Owlman. Son of a bitch. They're gonna change him to Night Owlman. Watch. He wants Owlman to kill Dick Grayson. It's gonna be interesting to see this develop in Forever Evil.
Number 2. Because that continued Forever Evil number 2. Of
course, because that's where the Crime Syndicate and everything else is further developed. Next week. Book of the week for me, because I am a Superman fan.
I said this too.
And Mike has grown up to me talking about Superman, so Batman Superman, issue 3.1, the only Villains Month solo for Batman Superman, and that is Doomsday issue 1. This does not take place in the present. This does not take place anywhere near Earth. It is a retelling a bit of Doomsday's origin on Krypton. It's there's a celebration every year called Remembrance Day, which is the day where General Zod and the rest of Krypton fought against Doomsday and trapped him, I believe, in the Phantom Zone. We don't know where Doomsday is. We just know that Krypton fought him and won. The end. We don't know what they did with him, but they won the fight against Doomsday thanks to Zod. And there's also a part where Kara is listening into Laura I don't like how the women are depicted on this Krypton. They're very bitchy, in my opinion.
Yeah, but the interesting part of this book is when Zor-El told his daughter the story about that there was a death.
Yeah,
Superman. They showed the picture.
Yeah,
with the
they had
blood
like
and everything.
legend. They showed legends,
Right.
and
that part alone was just simply the best part that I read. This part though was different from the pre-New 52.
Yeah.
That part.
this is the this is part of the legend where they said when Superman, when the Night of El dies, others rise up.
Yeah, because there were 4
when he
not
was
6
down.
of the different Supermen.
Well, what can you do?
No, I'm not saying
I
that
like
that's
that.
bad.
I
I'm
liked
saying
when
it's good.
Zor-El was explaining to Kara about the legend and what the future stories might be. That artwork was really interesting, and then it went back to the artwork from the book, and it turns out, spoiler alert, Kara actually was talking to General Zod, who was able to reach out through the Phantom Zone, and he was explaining to Kara about why Doomsday is important to Krypton because it got them to fight. And he likes that. He, as we all know from Zod's origin,
Zod loves monsters.
Zod loves monsters and he loves the fight. And he actually is able to reach out to Kara. Kara is actually like, get away from me, get lost. You can't do anything. And then he shows Doomsday, which is what leads me to believe that Doomsday is in the Phantom Zone. And Doomsday tries to hurt Kara, but he can't. However, when you look at the book in the last panel, the book was scratched somehow. So Doomsday did have a way of semi-reaching out. So it's the end for now. So Zod and Doomsday are in the Phantom Zone apparently. Or a version of Doomsday. Remember though, this is in the past. So if Superman did die and come back already from death, somehow I'm guessing Doomsday was released and destroyed or ended, so to speak.
Yep,
But Zod is probably still somewhere out there in the Phantom Zone.
This book was phenomenally awesome.
I loved it.
Definitely.
I can't say it's book of the week though, because once again it's just a retelling or an additional story for Doomsday. This has no connection to Forever Evil at all. But it was still a very good read in my opinion. And being a Superman fan, that is why this is my top book. The #1 book out of the pile. Was this book of the week though? Absolutely not. I enjoyed a fair amount of books. I enjoyed Secret Society for its connection to Forever Evil. I enjoyed Black Adam and Ocean Master because the endings were really good, and it shows that even supervillains
can turn to heroes.
Yeah. When the heroes are gone, certain supervillains actually grow a conscience. And you know, when there's nobody to stand up for the people, the villains actually decide, hey, I don't think so. And I'm sorry, Ocean Master's reaction, the ending was just the best ending. That ending is going to stick in my mind for a very long time. That one part where he turns his back on the woman, he leaves, and then the words play in his mind. He's hesitating, he leaves, and then he comes back and says, no, that kid's just 8. He's making an excuse to go help the woman, basically. So there are still people who will stand for what's right, even though they stood for what's wrong at one time.
Exactly.
And Killer Croc was a huge surprise of the week for me, so that's why that is part of my top as well.
So basically, the lower tiers of this week was Joker's Daughter, definitely,
and Firstborn.
And
Bane. Bane for me was a little bit of a
Bane
disappointment. And Man-Bat was okay. After that, it was all good, and I enjoyed also the.
Well,
two
you're gonna do a
Superman
rundown
books.
of the whole
Yeah, and
book.
Sinestro once again was just one of those books.
Okay, well, good to be back.
Yep.
As always. So, oh yeah, that's where I go again.
Yeah, behind the camera. So let's take a taste while you're getting ready. This week from Villains Month, the books I recommend you guys check out. Doomsday is definitely worth a check out. Secret Society is absolutely worth a check out. Black Adam was really good, definitely worth a check out. Ocean Master was spectacular, worth a check out. Killer Croc surprised the hell out of me, definitely something to check out. If you're a Superman fan, you'll be checking out Metallo and Parasite. Sinestro, if you know Sinestro's past, it adds a little bit more to it, But if you're not reading Green Lantern, if you're not interested in Green Lantern, you don't need this book. Man-Bat is the next story arc in Detective Comics. If you're reading Detective Comics and you want a little bit of insight on the next story arc, you'll want Man-Bat. Bane was an okay lead-in to the Arkham Wars. If you're not planning to read Arkham Wars, you don't need Bane. Firstborn, if you're liking Wonder Woman, if you're loving what you're seeing with Wonder Woman, it's
an okay.
It's something you'll be reading. Joker's Daughter was a
God.
huge disappointment of the week. This is the lower tier book of the week for me. Adventures of Superman #5 was spectacular. If you are not reading this book and you are a fan of the old DCU, this will give you that old DC Universe feel. Spectacular stories. Just amazing each and every month when I get it. Battle of the Atom definitely picked up a lot with Chapter 5 and Wolverine and the X-Men issue 36. Definitely something to check out. Guardians of the Galaxy issue 6 was awesome. Something to check out as well. Nova issue number 8 feels more like a setup. Something to look into, definitely. I'm looking forward to the next issue. Punisher on trial, the trial of the Punisher.
Really great. Can't wait to see part 2 of the book.
Ultimate Comics Spider-Man issue 27. Looking forward to the final part. Definitely something to check out. Scarlet Spider issue 22 continues with the fun story arc. Young Avengers number 10. I'm officially done. Mother is a pain in my ass. I can't stand her guts. And I was enjoying Young Avengers from the very beginning. The story just got stale over time and issues. So I'm done. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue 26. Book of the week. Book of the month. Guys, if you're not reading the Turtles, where are you? I've been saying this for 26 months now. This is a book you need to be reading if you are looking for an escape into the fantasy world. This is a spectacular book, spectacular series. Thank God it's back, and hopefully it'll be back for a very, very, very long time because it's awesome. Something to check out. And The Wake issue 4 of 10. Weaker of the 4 issues that have been released so far, but I'm very sure it'll pick up. This is Scott Snyder's writing after all. Thank you guys so much for sticking with us in Dark Avenger Inc. I will make an official video about this for all of Villains Month. We enjoyed giving you guys the reviews. We still have week 4 to go through, but we enjoyed all 3 weeks plus this week. We enjoyed the skits, the topics, the conversations, the live shows with Darkrise, where Mike played Darkrise, were fun, and we hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we did. Don't forget to check out ComicRelated.com, your #1 source for comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. Look forward tonight to the announcement video, where me and Mike are going to be making some major announcements that will be affecting this channel, as well as Dark Avenger Inc. in a way for me and Mike. Some big news, and also Comic-Con. We'll be talking about New York Comic-Con a little bit in this announcement video, so stay tuned for that tonight. We'll be filming it right after this video, but due to rendering, once again, video probably won't be up until tomorrow night. Thank you guys so much. Keep reading, keep collecting. I'll see you guys next week for another Dark Avenger comic book review. Take care, everybody.
Later, guys.
And happy autumn, by the way.
Yes, later, guys.